Jermall Charlo versus Brandon Adams fight week, and they're doing some Showtime shoulder programming to promote the fight. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Now, I will be in Houston. It's going to be going down. H-Town get down. You know, Jermall Charlo's having a long-awaited homecoming fight. His brother just had a sensational knockout. I was at that fight in Vegas, you know, back at home in Cali for one day, and then we back on the road going to Houston. I'm looking forward to this fight. Jermall Charlo's fighting opponent, even Gennady Golovkin and DAZN were reaching out to Brandon Adams. He's the season 5 winner of the Contender, and you know, he got some fame and kind of rebuilt his career because he had taken, I think, 2 losses, one being a stoppage loss to Thompson on, I think it was a PBC card, but he has since rebuilt his career. He's on the trend up, and you know, Jermall Charlo, he's looking to stay undefeated and to keep going after the bigger and better names, the Canelos of the division, Jacobs, Triple G's, Andrades, and stuff like that. So he has to look good at home. You know, sometimes fighters get at home, have a hometown hijinks. So I'm looking forward to this fight. Never been to Houston particularly, and I never been in that particular NRG arena. So I'm gonna see how H-Town gets down, but it's a big capacity, dope arena from what I heard. Now, I wanted to talk about this because I was really feeling what Showtime did, and I've seen they've done this before, and I really haven't made the time to make the video, but this one just kind of moved me. They have a program, and I'll put the link in the description, and you guys need to get behind it. Like, I love when boxing gives us this supplemental content to really help build the fight and understand the mind of the fighter, and that's really what I want to advocate for on my channel. I want people to be educated on boxing and be able to have the conversations. A lot of people just talk shit and say this and that. A lot of people on YouTube even, you know, they say stuff on boxing, but they don't really know what the fuck they talking about. But anyway, watch this Showtime. It's called Anatomy of a Punch. Link in the description. Jermall Charlo is breaking down the punch that set up the knockout, which was a beautiful counter uppercut, and how it transpired with Julian J. Rock Williams, who is now a unified champion in Jermall Charlo's old division of 54. His brother's still there at 54. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch, to hear Jermall Charlo and Ronnie Shields kind of break down. It's not like a long watch or anything, but I enjoy the boxing education and just hearing it from the fighter's mouth of what was going through their head. Just to, you know, I don't want to spoil too much, but Jermall Charlo was basically saying that Julian J. Rock Williams was talking a lot of trash. I remember that well because I was at his brother fought on the same card against John Jackson, and then he fought against Austin Trout in a difficult fight. And J Rock was in the crowd. We were all there in Vegas. Keisha Cole was there. I sat, you know, behind Keisha Cole, ringside, and I remember that was the big fight. Jermall had he said right then and there after the Austin Trout fight, which was a crafty veteran. It was kind of a difficult fight. He said he was moving up to 160. J Rock was the mandatory, and people were saying, "Oh, you ducking." So in the Anatomy of a Punch, Jermall Charlo is just basically talking about how people were, well, he didn't really talk about the fan perspective, but he said J Rock was talking a lot of shit at the time, and he says it was just, man, he couldn't wait to knock him out, and he knows he wasn't gonna act like that in the end. And he just really breaks down the punch, and it's just great, you know, sweet science shit. Ronnie Shields, very, very good, underrated coach, you know, worked with Edislandi Lara, Mike Tyson, etc. Now working with Guillermo El Chical Rigondeaux. I think he worked with Archer Spilka at a point in time. But anyway, Ronnie Shields he said, I kept telling him to shoot the uppercut. You know, the way Julian J. Rock Williams was leaning in after the right, he said, it's there for you. And then Charlo said, Ronnie kept telling me it's there for me, it's there for me. And they're breaking it down. They're talking about how early in the fight, and they even showed a clip. It said early in the fight, Charlo was trying to land that uppercut, but, you know, he didn't have the perfect timing on it. And then he said, Ronnie Shields said, man, just do it. Just let it. Don't think about it. Let the hands go. Let her rip. And, you know, I forget the exact round it was when it happened. But when it did happen, J Rock had a 1-2, and Charlo responded like a true professional, like a true champion, with one of the swiftest counter uppercuts you'll ever see. That shit was so dope. and they show it from all these different angles, and it just, you know, it was just a masterful counter shot, you know, perfectly executed. And you see the celebration, Charlo like, yeah, like, you know, I told y'all. And to me, after watching the Hurd fight, I said this immediately after the Hurd fight. I just interviewed J-Rock a couple days ago in Vegas. He was there, real cool dude. But after the Hurd fight, you know, I knew that was gonna be a good fight, and I told people on the channel. But after the Hurd fight, it gives you a new appreciation for Jermall Charlo's skill set, because J-Rock is a beast, and you know, he knocked down J-Rock with the jab, and then he also had that, and he ended up stopping the undefeated J-Rock. And you see the heart, the willingness, and the skill set of J-Rock as he bounced back later in his career to dethrone unified champion Swift Jared Hurd. So, you know, I'm really feeling the 147 to 160, and it's pretty much run by Al Heyman. Those divisions are really thick, you know, a lot of welterweight fights I'm looking forward to. Pacquiao Thurman, Spence versus Porter, you know, maybe Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia. 54, we're going to get the Charlo Harrison fight. I told you, it's basically like a tournament. You know, Charlo just had a great knockout, Jermall versus Kota. You know, Erickson Lubin's still there. You have a rematch there likely with J-Rock defending his titles against former champion Jared Hurd. You know, I'm looking forward to it, because that could set up the other brother, Jermall, if he gets his belt back, versus J-Rock, you know, or Hurd versus Charlo, or whatever combination, if Tony Harrison wins, whatever the situation as the cards may lie. And then, you know, also Jermall Charlo, I'm looking forward to 160. Andre's fighting this week. Charlo is fighting this week in Houston. Again, I'll be down there. It's going to be lit. So watch this Anatomy of a Punch. I thought it was really dope. And like I said, I just have a new, I mean, I already respected the Charlo's fight game, but, you know, once you see it and hear the breakdown, I think it's pretty clever, pretty dope. And I like what Showtime is doing with that. So that's why I wanted to bring a little bit of spotlight to it. Watch it. Beautiful uppercut before the Brandon Adams fight this week. If you haven't watched the J-Rock fight with Charlo, you should definitely watch that. You know, so beautiful executed counter uppercut. Beast of a shot. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And if you're going to be in H-Town this week for Charlo versus Adams, holla at the boy, we working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.